Christmas!
Good evening, everyone. It's your boys, Ricky and Verb, here to talk about the Press Time Ho Ho Halloween Toy Drive. And we are calling all enthusiasts and toy loving daredevils to come on down to Press Time between October 20th and October 26th to drop off a brand new toy for our Christmas toy drive. Because let's face it, folks, things are a little busy during the holiday season. We don't need to be running around. We don't need to be going here, there, and everywhere. We'll do it in October. It'll be better. You'll deliver a toy. It'll be nice. You'll feel good about yourself because you always feel good about yourself during the Christmas season. Why not feel good about yourself also during the Halloween season? And guess what else? We're on day 2. We're talking about a new movie. The movie this week is Cabin Fever.
Yikes, we're back, baby. And let me say, Rick, you just nailed that opening. That was nice.
Thank you.
Killed it. So today we're talking about Cabin Fever, which is another cool movie. Came out, I think, in 2002, directed by Eli Roth, which I think was his first feature movie that he made.
First feature film.
And this one follows a bunch of college graduates who are going on vacation. They rent a cottage in the woods. Seems like a good idea, I guess. But then they slowly, one by one, start being attacked by some sort of flesh-eating disease, which the story kind of goes from there. Did you like this one, Rick?
I actually loved this one. I seen it in theaters. I was kind of anticipating it. A friend of mine told me about it and said it was going to be awesome. And it was. Like, I'm not kidding, man. I've probably watched this movie once every 2-3 years since it came out. And yeah, it's super campy. There's lots of cheesy parts in it. But again, like Scream, I think that Eli Roth remembered that it's supposed to be fun. There's a ton of gore. Like, obviously this is horrible, but it's also like funny and like exciting, and it's got lots of cool stuff in it like that.
Right. And I thought it was interesting because it wasn't necessarily like a person that's coming and killing everybody in like a stabber film, but it was more like it was disease, which you haven't seen all that time. Mind you, some of the locals, they get involved and they're coming after the kids too. And that's just because they don't want this flesh-eating disease to come into their town.
I think that's super cool, kind of in the third act, to take it on like a different little spin of like, oh, now there's a new threat. Speaking about the threat, I read online that Eli Roth got a small like flesh-eating virus or something like that when he was on a trip in Iceland. And then that inspired him to write it. I don't know how he got this thing made because it seems kind of out there a little bit, but turns out that it worked and it was awesome.
Yeah, made lots of money. Do you think there's also hillbilly killers in Iceland?
I'm sure they have existed there. However, I don't think Eli came across them.
Ryder Strong, he was kind of the main character in this one.
Remind me which television program he was in?
Oh, that's Boy Meets World.
Never watched it.
Never. Wow, he's kind of
he
was kind of the cool one out of his buddies, him and Savage. I think.
To be honest, like I may have seen it here or there, but it kind of wasn't my jam. And this is something that we touched on, like in the first podcast, was I pretty much went from being absolutely terrified of Freddy Krueger, then I'm like, actually, he's awesome. And this happened in like grade 4, and I kind of never looked back. Like, I don't know. I wasn't really interested in Boy Meets World.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to tell you all about it. You couldn't get your face out of the Goosebump books.
Monster Blood 2.
R.L. Stein, baby.
Yeah. What was his enemy's name? R.L. Slime?
R.L. Slime. His evil. Maybe that was his evil twin. So getting back to Cabin Fever. So like they're kind of getting picked off one by one. The girl that Ryder Strong's character is kind of like pining after and is in love with, she's the first one to go, and I guess that's because a guy who is infected just shows up at night and he's looking for help, and they don't want to help him. So she does want to help him. She gets it, and they the solution is secluding her in some sort of like
horse stable.
Yeah, there you go. But they do bring her food, so that's nice.
That is very nice. You don't want to leave her out there foodless.
Actually, there was kind of like a cheesy love scene, and that's the first time that they found out that she was infected, because her and Ryder were hanging out, and all of her like leg was all kind of torn up. And
yeah, oh, dude, that's no good for anybody.
No, straight to the horse stable.
I gotta say though, buddy, if that were us, and you were like, "Hey, man, do you mind hanging out in the stable while we figure out what the F's going on?" I'd say fine, as long as you guys bring me all the stuff you're eating. I'll do it.
Yeah, if you had to be in there, maybe set you
Not
up
to
a
be a
little
big
bit, and
hero or anything. I'm just saying.
get some Nintendo in the horse stable. Keep me occupied.
Yeah, yeah. Like as long as everybody's being reasonable, I'll do it.
So yeah, so they all slowly start to get it. One cool thing is one of the characters who doesn't get it. I don't know if you can remember him, but at the very end of the movie,
Yeah. The
he's
guy who
he
will
gets
definitely be bald one day.
right. Oh, shit,
I
very
wonder if he's
very
bald
thin hair.
now. I'm gonna look that up after this.
Yeah, oh for sure. And he's
The
getting too
blonde guy,
cocky
right?
and he's celebrating. He's like, "I did it! I survived! You can't get me!" And then he just gets blasted by all the local police who just assume that he has it.
If you guys haven't seen the movie, first of all, check it out. But the cool thing is that, like I was saying, in the third act, it kind of takes a turn. The first part is all about these kids kind of coming across this disease that is obviously horrible and it's effing them up big time. But because of that, they go into town. They end up back at the place that they were in the beginning, where this, I don't know, kind of deranged kid bites the one dude's hand, and it's just like kind of like hillbilly dudes. And they go back there for help, and that's when the hillbilly guys realize, oh my God, these kids are infected with something. We got to put a stop to this. Then that's where they really enter the film. And then the new threat is these bozos chasing them through the forest, trying to kill them. But this was my favorite part, man. All of the most creative things, I think, in the movie happened in that final act. All of those crazy kills where each like hillbilly guys getting killed one by one. It's, I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool.
And even though those guys were all like very over the top,
Yeah,
all the hillbillies, it is the kind of horror movie that I like the best with those kind of guys. Like I'm not so much like as much into the paranormal, or like I kind of like just like things that could like really happen.
yeah.
So it sucks, but there are some people out there you got to be afraid.
Got to be afraid, buddy. Especially
there's also
so
the reason you find out after that that the flesh-eating disease is happening is because it's some sort of dead body in the town's like reservoir.
Yeah.
So it's all getting into the water, and that's how everybody's getting it. So the town is kind of doomed no matter what.
Yeah.
The movie ends. It's kind of funny. There's like two little kids filling up this giant bin of Gatorade to set up a lemonade stand, and the town loves it. They're like, bring on the lemonade. And they're all having a good old time, and they're all gonna get infected eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, why is it that the cops want to cover it up? Well, like, you know how when they actually get to the cabin scene, they're like burning all the bodies and stuff, and they're like covering up the scene.
To know.
Why is that again?
I think they're trying to save face of their for their community.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want people to know.
I wasn't sure if it was something like the cops or the feds like freaking put the disease out there or something, or like they had something to do with that.
That's a conspiracy, Rick.
Right, that's true, and we are a couple of bozos, so.
There's one character I don't know if you remember, and I don't exactly know what the point of him was, but so it's kind of at the beginning where they're having like a campfire and they're having a good time.
Yeah.
And this hippie comes in and just shows up with his dog and has this very like long beard. He's just almost like braided. And he's like, hey, do you mind if I hang out? And they're all right away like, no, man, this is kind of a private party. If you could keep moving. And he's like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to have to do all these drugs by myself. And their tune changes very fast. They're like, no, oh, you can stay. No. Come on over. Join us.
You want to know why that's in there?
Go ahead.
That guy that plays that hippie that you're talking about is Eli Roth himself.
Oh, no way.
So I'm wondering if he was just like, hey, I want to like work myself into this. I don't know. Like it does lead a little bit more into the story later because like that guy's dog, Dr.
returns and takes down the girl who's in the horse.
Yeah. He returns. Yeah. He has a little feast in the stable.
I'm glad you tossed that. I had no idea that was him.
Yeah. And that's not his only cameo either. So you know how they're telling that's what I can't remember the guy's name, Ryder Strong, when he's telling that story of something that happened in his town at the bowling alley. It was like some crazy murderer guy killed all the people at the bowling alley.
Right.
When it shows that smiling guy who's getting his dome polished in the ball thing, that's Eli Roth too.
Ooh. Yeah, the head comes out, the ball returned. Yeah. That's a creepy moment.
Yeah, well,
I wonder if that beard is real. It could be.
I mean, I suppose you're right. It could have been, but like, dude, that is commitment right there, bro. I've got a 4-inch rat tail, and I'm a year and a half into this thing.
And it looks fantastic.
Thank you.
Let's talk the he's almost like a deputy kind of. He's working his way through the ranks. And what's that character's name?
Winston.
This guy, all he cares about is party. He just wants to be a party boy. He wants to know where the party's at. It was his only choice to be a cop in that small town. It's like, be a mechanic or a cop. Which one am I going to be? I just picked that. Maybe his mom's making him. I'm not sure. But he just wants to know where the party is. If you mess with his party, he's angry.
Go get yourself a big 40. Have yourself a party. Come on. You're the party boy.
Yeah. You don't want to kill that guy's buzz.
You do not want to do that. He's great. And that is, maybe they've been in other movies together, but him and then kind of like the party boy character who kind of kicks things off by shooting the guy in the forest.
Right.
Those two characters, that's not the first time they've been in a movie. They are also in my favorite movie of all time, Detroit Rock City. And I don't even know if they're in any scenes together in Cabin Fever, but man, they sure do kill it in Detroit Rock City.
I lost my virginity in confessional booth.
Oh yeah, Jam. But yeah, I mean, I feel like that kind of sums up the movie. And the thing that I really, really like about this one, that I also like about Scream, is that it's fun. Obviously, it's filled with gore and all this other really bad stuff, but it's meant to be fun. It's meant to be funny. You're supposed to have a good time. It's not all just about the scares. I think it has a lot of the things that make a horror movie great, which is comedy, scares, and just good times.
Yeah, I really like this one. It's one that I'll definitely like revisit every few years. Well, we're gonna wrap this one up, and we're gonna be back at you soon with another movie. And I hope you're enjoying this. We're having fun.
I'm having a freaking blast, Verb. I love you dearly. You're my boy. You'll always be my boy. Don't ever forget that. And to everybody else watching, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one, baby.
Later.